Hey, so what is going on in the real estate market right now in Los Angeles? I won't pretend to know what happens or what's going on in the real estate market in the rest of the country because I don't sell real estate in the rest of the country. I only sell real estate in Los Angeles, and that's what I know. That's what I know because I am in the trenches every day talking to buyers, talking to sellers, and that's what I'm basing my opinion on. Now, it seems like a lot of people out there have opinion from their neighbor, from their cousin who's thinking about being a realtor, from their mother who used to be a realtor, and everybody seems to think, or to know better than everybody else. I don't think I know better than anybody else. I know numbers because numbers don't lie. We all know that. So I'm going to share a few numbers with you, and then you can make up your own opinion. By the way, my name is Michel Bron with the Bron Realty Group. So in June of 2022, 70% of homes that sold in Los Angeles were sold above asking price. Okay, that's still pretty significant. It means that 30% of them were either sold at asking or maybe a little bit below. But still, 70%, the greater majority, were sold above asking price. Now, these properties that sold in June at above asking price, or all of them actually that sold in June, went into escrow probably in mid-April. Okay, so maybe prices weren't, when they went into escrow at that time, prices weren't affected yet, and interest rates were starting to go up, but not as much as where they are now. So we have to take that into consideration. As far as the inventory that we have now, to have, just so you know, to have a stable real estate market in Los Angeles or just about anywhere else, we need to have 5 months worth of inventory. Now, what does it mean? It means that if no new listing came on the market from today, it would take 5 months to sell everything that's listed. That's a stable market, 5 months. In June of last year, we had 1.7 month worth of inventory. That's very little, okay? In June of this year, last June, we had 2.5 months of inventory. So it is a significant, it's not quite 1 full month more, but it is quite significant more inventory. But it's still half of what we need to have a stable market, which means that we still have significantly more demand than inventory. So somebody who's thinking of selling their home, can feel pretty reassured that there's still going to be a lot of demand out there. And anybody who's thinking of buying a house needs to understand that it's still competitive out there. It's not like, hey, I can just, throw any offer at a seller and I'm going to get the house. It's not that, at least not in Los Angeles, especially not on the Los Angeles west side. Time on market, June of last year, property would stay on the market for 8 days on average, and then they would be sold. Now it's 11 days. So not a significant difference. As long as you're priced right, properties are still selling rather quickly, but it's starting to take a little bit longer, okay? Let's look, I'm not gonna bore you with too many more slides. I'm gonna look at one neighborhood in Los Angeles, Santa Monica. Santa Monica is actually most of the time the most expensive neighborhood in LA. A lot of people think it's Beverly Hills or Bel Air, and sometimes it is, but the majority of the time Santa Monica is actually the most expensive neighborhood in LA. So let's look at prices for Santa Monica. Houses, median price in Santa Monica is at $4.34 million. That's the median price, okay? It's still almost 25% higher than last year. The number of homes that sold in June of this year, 2022, 14 properties sold in June. That's very little. It's actually almost 58% less than last year. So it means that we're having a lot less transactions this year than last year. People aren't rushing to buy homes. Active listings, we have 48 listings, which is almost 19% less listings that we had at the same time last year. Again, sellers are not rushing to put their homes on the market either because they're thinking, hey, maybe the market is shifting. Maybe it's not a good time to sell because I won't get as much money for my house. And in terms of sales price, now that's interesting. In terms of sale price, 106.5% of the asking price, or 6.5% of the asking price. So still, properties in June of this year were still selling above asking price. That being said, on the active listing that are still in the market, the ones that didn't sell, 18.8%, almost 19% of these listings have already reduced their prices. So the home sellers who are in touch with the market are saying, hey, they're listening to their agents and they're saying, hey, I think it's time to adjust to the market, because the market is not going to adjust to you, although a lot of home sellers would like to think it will. And they're saying, hey, if I need to adjust my price to sell my house, that's what I'm going to do. So already, 18, almost 19% of those homeowners, home sellers have reduced their prices. So these are the numbers for you. I still think, Los Angeles, real estate in general, is a very localized market. So what happens in LA is different from what's going on in Lancaster, California, is different from what's going on in the suburbs of Iowa or Wyoming or somewhere else, because every market is different, the demand is different. We are here in LA, which we still have the best weather in the world. We still have some of the most amazing industries in the world. We have the entertainment industry. We still have a big textile industry. We have a big tech industry. And we have beautiful people like all of you guys out there.